Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson have been Hollywood's golden couple for over 3 decades, but even the strongest relationships face moments that test everything. Recently, a health scare sent shockwaves through their seemingly perfect life, leaving Rita in tears and forcing Tom into the role of her rock. What happened behind closed doors when the cameras stopped rolling? Join us as we explore the emotional story behind Rita Wilson's heartbreaking diagnosis. Early life and path to stardom. Tom Hanks was born on July 9, 1956 in Concord, California. His full name is Thomas Jeffrey Hanks. From the beginning, his life was filled with challenges. When Tom was only 5 years old, his parents, Amos Mefford Hanks and Janet Marilyn Frager, got divorced. After the divorce, Tom and his older siblings stayed with their father. His younger brother went to live with their mother. Life with his father wasn't very stable. Amos Hanks was a cook by profession, and his job often required the family to move. As a result, Tom moved around a lot during his childhood. By the time he was 10 years old, he had lived in 10 different houses. This constant moving made it hard for Tom to build strong friendships or feel settled. He later described his early years as lonely and somewhat chaotic. Tom's father remarried multiple times, which added more complexity to the family situation. Hanks once said that his home life was full of drama, and he often felt like an outsider. Even though life was difficult, Tom remained curious and observant. These qualities would later help him in acting, as he became good at noticing how people behaved and felt. While growing up, Tom didn't immediately dream of becoming an actor. In fact, he didn't even think he had any special talent. But everything changed when he got to high school. He started attending Skyline High School in Oakland, California. There, he joined the school's drama program. For the first time, he felt like he belonged somewhere. Acting gave him a sense of purpose and allowed him to express emotions he didn't know how to show before. His interest in theater quickly grew stronger, and it became clear that performing was something he wanted to keep doing. After high school, Tom decided to study theater more seriously. He enrolled at Chabot College, a community college in Hayward, California. He picked Chabot not only because it was affordable, but also because it had a solid drama department. While there, Tom focused heavily on learning about acting, stagecraft, and different styles of performance. After 2 years, he transferred to California State University, Sacramento, where he continued his theater studies. However, something unexpected happened during his time in college that changed his life forever. In 1977, Tom heard about a summer internship program at the Great Lakes Theater Festival in Cleveland, Ohio. He applied and got accepted. This internship was more than just a learning opportunity, it was a turning point. At the Great Lakes Theater Festival, Tom didn't just act. He also learned about all the behind-the-scenes work involved in putting on a stage production. He helped with lighting, building sets, managing props, and even stage managing. It was an intense and demanding experience, but it gave Tom a complete view of how the world of theater worked. Over the next 3 years, Tom returned to the festival every summer. The experience taught him professionalism, discipline, and the importance of teamwork. It also helped him build confidence in his skills as an actor. He eventually decided to leave college before graduating, choosing instead to pursue acting full-time. He felt he had gained enough real-world experience to take the next step. After leaving college, Tom moved to New York City in the late 1970s to try his luck as an actor. Like many struggling performers, he started with small roles. His first big break came in 1980 when he was cast in a television sitcom called Bosom Buddies. The show was about 2 men who dress as women in order to live in a women-only apartment building. It was a strange premise, but Tom's natural charm and comic timing made him stand out. Even though the show only lasted 2 seasons, it caught the attention of people in the entertainment industry. Soon after Bosom Buddies, Tom started appearing in guest roles on other TV shows and slowly began to move into film. His major film breakthrough came in 1984 when he starred in Splash, a romantic comedy directed by Ron Howard. In the movie, Tom plays a man who falls in love with a mermaid, played by Daryl Hannah. The film was a huge success at the box office and helped make Tom a recognizable face in Hollywood. From there, Tom's career took off. He was no longer just a funny guy on TV, he was now a leading man in movies. In 1988, he starred in Big, a comedy about a boy who magically becomes an adult overnight. The role required both humor and emotional depth, and Tom delivered both perfectly. The film was a hit, and his performance earned him his first Academy Award nomination for Best Actor. Throughout the late 1980s and early 1990s, Tom continued to choose roles that showcased his versatility. In Turner and Hooch, he played a neat freak detective who teams up with a messy dog to solve a crime. It was another box office success that proved he could carry a movie on his own. In 1992, Tom joined the cast of A League of Their Own, a film about a women's baseball league during World War II. He played the role of Jimmy Dugan, a washed-up baseball star turned coach. The role was different from his earlier, more lighthearted parts. As Dugan, Tom showed a rougher, more sarcastic side, but still made the character likable and real. The film was both a critical and commercial success, and it added more depth to Tom's growing film resume. By this point in his career, Tom Hanks had proven he was more than just a comedian or romantic lead. He was becoming one of Hollywood's most respected and bankable stars. His ability to make audiences laugh, cry, and believe in his characters set him apart from other actors of his generation. He was just getting started, and the next chapter of his life would bring not only more success, but also love and partnership that would last for decades. Tom Hanks' first marriage. Before Tom Hanks became a Hollywood icon, he was just a young man trying to figure out his life. In the mid-1970s, while studying theater at California State University, Sacramento, Tom met a fellow student named Samantha Lewis. Her real name was Susan Jane Dillingham, but she later used the stage name Samantha Lewis as she pursued her own acting career. The two quickly became close. They shared a love for acting, and both were trying to find their way in the world. Tom and Samantha started dating seriously, and it wasn't long before their relationship became even more serious. They were expecting a child. Tom was only 21 years old at the time, and the idea of becoming a father was overwhelming. Still, he wanted to do the right thing. In 1978, he and Samantha got married, but even before they exchanged vows, they had already welcomed their first child, Colin Hanks, who was born in 1977. The early years of their marriage were far from easy. Tom was still trying to get his acting career off the ground. He took whatever small roles he could find, often struggling to make ends meet. At the same time, he was learning how to be a husband and a father, all while carrying the weight of financial pressure. Samantha also tried to keep her own career going, but most of her energy went into supporting the family and taking care of their young son. Tom has spoken in interviews about how difficult those early days were. He was young, uncertain, and not entirely ready for all the responsibilities that came with marriage and fatherhood. But despite the challenges, Tom and Samantha stuck together and did their best to build a life for their family. In 1982, Tom and Samantha welcomed their second child, a daughter named Elizabeth Hanks. By this time, Tom's career had started to pick up some momentum. He had landed a few roles on television and was beginning to appear in films. But with his growing success came new kinds of stress. Tom was working longer hours, often away from home. He was juggling auditions, travel, and shooting schedules while also trying to be present for his family. Samantha, meanwhile, was at home raising two children and managing the household largely on her own. The imbalance in their lives started to take a toll on their relationship. It became increasingly clear that they were growing apart. The stress of parenting, financial worries, and the demands of Tom's rising career made it hard for the couple to stay connected. Although they cared about each other, they were no longer the same people who had fallen in love back in college. Their communication broke down, and they began spending more time apart. Tom later admitted that he didn't fully understand what it meant to be a husband when he got married. He said he felt emotionally immature, and that he entered marriage because he was scared of being alone. He also admitted that he wanted to create the stable family he didn't have while growing up, but he wasn't fully ready for what that required. By 1987, after nearly a decade of marriage, Tom and Samantha decided to separate. Their divorce was finalized that same year. While the end of their relationship was painful, both Tom and Samantha remained committed to co-parenting their children. Tom has said in interviews that the divorce was one of the most difficult periods of his life. He felt like he had failed in his first attempt at building a family, and he carried a lot of guilt. However, he also used the experience to learn and grow. He became more aware of his emotional needs and more honest about his limitations. Despite the split, Tom continued to support Samantha and stay involved in their children's lives. He was an active father to both Colin and Elizabeth, even as his career began to skyrocket. As Colin grew older, he decided to follow in his father's footsteps and become an actor. Tom was supportive, but also made sure that Colin found his own path rather than simply copying his. Today, Colin Hanks is a well-known actor in his own right, with roles in both film and television. Elizabeth Hanks has also worked in the entertainment industry, although she later turned to writing and publishing. Both children have spoken respectfully about their parents and have acknowledged the effort their father made to stay close and supportive, even after the divorce. Samantha Lewis sadly passed away in 2002 from bone cancer. Tom was deeply affected by her death. Although their marriage had ended many years earlier, she had been a significant part of his life and the mother of his 2 children. He supported her and the family through her illness and made sure their children had what they needed during that difficult time. What came next was a new beginning, one that would change his life forever. Meeting Rita Wilson. Tom Hanks first met Rita Wilson in 1981 on the set of the TV sitcom Bosom Buddies. At the time, Rita appeared as a guest star in one episode. Tom was married to Samantha Lewis back then, and although he noticed Rita, nothing romantic happened between them at that point. It was simply a professional meeting between 2 young actors working in television. However, a few years later, in 1985, Tom and Rita reconnected while working together on the film Volunteers. This time, the timing was different. Tom was still married, but he has openly shared in later interviews that he and Rita developed a strong emotional connection during filming. They spent time together both on and off set, and found they had a lot in common, not just professionally, but personally. The chemistry between them was hard to ignore. Tom felt something he hadn't felt before, a deep sense of comfort and understanding. Rita wasn't just someone he was attracted to, she was someone he could talk to, laugh with, and feel completely himself around. They shared similar values about life, work, and family. They also had a mutual love for storytelling, film, and music, which created a strong emotional and creative bond between them. Tom has said that when he met Rita, he knew immediately that there was something special about her. But things were complicated. He was still married and had 2 children. He knew that any decisions he made would affect not only himself, but also his family. So, although his feelings for Rita were strong, he had to take time to figure out what was best for everyone involved. Tom's marriage to Samantha Lewis was already under a lot of strain by the time he met Rita Wilson again. He and Samantha had been growing apart for years, and Tom later admitted that he had married too young and didn't fully understand what marriage required at that time in his life. Meeting Rita didn't cause his marriage to fall apart, but it made him realize how deeply unhappy he had been and how much he longed for a different kind of partnership. In 1987, Tom and Samantha officially divorced. The decision wasn't easy, especially with 2 children involved, but Tom knew that staying in a relationship that wasn't working wasn't fair to anyone. After the divorce, he took time to be thoughtful about his next steps. By this point, his relationship with Rita had grown stronger. They were no longer just co-stars, they were partners. In 1988, just a year after his divorce was finalized, Tom and Rita got married in a small and intimate ceremony. For both of them, it was a turning point. From the beginning, their marriage was built on mutual respect and shared goals. They understood each other's work and supported each other's dreams. Both Tom and Rita came from modest backgrounds, and neither was drawn to the flashy side of Hollywood. They preferred a quiet life focused on family, creativity, and helping others. Over time, this grounded approach helped them grow even closer. Their relationship stood out in an industry where many marriages fall apart under pressure. Tom and Rita chose to keep their personal life private, which helped them avoid the kind of media attention that often puts strain on celebrity relationships. Instead of seeking the spotlight, they focused on building a strong and lasting partnership. Tom and Rita started a new chapter together, not only as a married couple, but also as parents. In 1990, they welcomed their first son, Chester Marlon Hanks, better known as Chet. 5 years later, in 1995, they had their second son, Truman Theodore Hanks. Tom was already a father to Colin and Elizabeth from his first marriage, so he and Rita created a blended family. This meant making sure that all 4 children felt equally loved and included. Rita stepped into the role of stepmother with kindness and patience, and the family worked to stay connected despite busy work schedules and public attention. Raising kids in Hollywood is never easy. The Hanks Wilson family was often in the spotlight, especially as Tom became one of the most well-known and respected actors in the world. But Tom and Rita were careful to shield their children from the pressures of fame. They wanted their home life to be as normal as possible, with routines, family dinners, and strong values. They taught their children about responsibility, respect, and the importance of hard work. Even though the kids grew up surrounded by fame, Tom and Rita didn't spoil them. They believed in letting their children find their own way and encouraged them to follow their passions, whatever those might be. Colin Hanks, Tom's eldest son, eventually followed in his father's footsteps and became an actor. He built a successful career in both film and television and earned respect for his work on his own terms. Chet Hanks has also acted and pursued a music career, though his path has been more controversial and challenging. Truman Hanks, the youngest, has mostly stayed out of the public eye, but has worked in behind-the-scenes roles on film projects. Elizabeth Hanks, Tom's daughter, has worked as a writer and editor and continues to carve her own path. Through it all, Tom and Rita have kept their focus on family. They've shown that it's possible to balance a busy career with being present as parents. Tom has often credited Rita with being the heart of their home. He says that she gives him strength, keeps him grounded, and helps him make good decisions. Tom and Rita's life together has been full of ups and downs, but they've faced it all as a team. They've raised 4 children, supported each other's careers, and maintained a loving and respectful relationship for more than 3 decades. Their story is rare in Hollywood and admired by many. But even with love and success, no one's life is perfect. And next, we'll take a look at one of the more difficult moments Tom and Rita have faced in the public eye. Greek citizenship and conspiracies. In 2020, Tom Hanks and his wife, Rita Wilson, were granted honorary Greek citizenship. The Greek government made this gesture to thank the couple for their contributions after the devastating wildfires that hit the country in 2018. Tom and Rita have long had a strong connection to Greece. Rita is of Greek descent, and the family often spends summers there. In fact, Tom converted to the Greek Orthodox Church years earlier and has spoken often about his love for the country and its people. On the surface, this honorary citizenship seemed like a warm gesture of appreciation. However, it unexpectedly became a source of controversy on the internet. Not long after the news broke, conspiracy theories began circulating on social media. Some users claimed, without evidence, that Tom's citizenship was an attempt to escape justice related to false and harmful accusations involving Jeffrey Epstein. These claims were not supported by any credible facts or legal cases. They were part of a broader wave of internet rumors that targeted several high-profile celebrities. Despite the lack of proof, the conspiracy theories gained traction in certain online communities, especially during the early months of the pandemic, when people were spending more time online and consuming unverified information. Tom Hanks, known for being fairly private and low-key on social media, found himself at the center of a storm he had not created. Tom and his team did not issue a detailed public statement refuting the conspiracy theories, likely because addressing such unfounded rumors can sometimes make them spread even more. However, Tom made it clear through his actions that he did not want to engage with the negative online chatter. He quietly left Twitter, one of the platforms where the conspiracy theories had gained the most attention. He didn't give an exact reason for leaving, but many believed it was his way of stepping back from a space that had become filled with false accusations and toxic discussions. In the end, while this controversy caused a stir online, it didn't have any lasting impact on Tom's reputation in the mainstream public eye. Most people continued to view him as the same trustworthy and talented actor he had always been. Still, it served as a reminder that even the most respected public figures are not immune to the dangers of misinformation and conspiracy culture online. Chet Hanks and family scrutiny. Another source of public scrutiny for the Hanks family has come from Tom and Rita's son, Chester Chet Hanks. Unlike his parents and older half-brother Colin, who are generally low-profile and careful with their public image, Chet has attracted controversy over the years for his outspoken behavior and social media presence. Chet first gained public attention through his music, especially his rap videos. He has performed under the name Chet Hayes and has tried to build a music career. However, many people criticized his approach, accusing him of cultural appropriation, especially for using Caribbean accents and slang in some of his videos and social media posts. Some felt that Chet was trying to imitate cultures in ways that were disrespectful or not authentic to his background. Later, during the pandemic, Chet stirred more public reaction by posting anti-vaccine messages. He spoke out against the vaccine and used social media to express his views in a way that many found irresponsible, especially given that his own parents, Tom and Rita, were among the first celebrities to publicly share that they had tested positive for the virus in early 2020. They had urged people to be careful and listen to health experts, so Chet's stance felt out of step with the rest of his family's messaging. Chet has also made controversial comments related to race and politics in various interviews and Instagram posts. His words have sparked debates online and led to backlash, with some accusing him of being insensitive and attention-seeking. As a result, Chet has often found himself in the middle of heated online discussions. What makes this more complex is that Tom and Rita have never publicly criticized or distanced themselves from their son. At the same time, they haven't openly defended his statements either. They've chosen to stay quiet about Chet's actions, which has led to different interpretations. Some people admire their loyalty as parents, and understand their choice to handle things privately. Others believe that public figures should speak out more clearly when family members make statements that could cause harm. Rita Wilson's cancer diagnosis. In 2015, Rita Wilson faced one of the biggest challenges of her life. Like many women, she went for regular breast screenings to stay on top of her health. At first, doctors found nothing unusual, but Rita had a gut feeling that something wasn't right. She chose to get a second opinion, and that decision likely saved her life. The second set of tests revealed something that the earlier screenings missed. Rita had invasive lobular carcinoma, a less common but aggressive form of breast cancer. Unlike other types of breast cancer, lobular carcinoma can be harder to detect through traditional mammograms because it doesn't form a lump. It can grow in a line, making it more difficult to spot early. Rita's experience is a powerful reminder about the importance of self-advocacy in healthcare. She trusted her instincts and didn't stop asking questions until she had answers. In later interviews, Rita said that getting that second opinion made all the difference. Because of her early detection, she was able to begin treatment quickly and increase her chances of recovery. Her story has helped raise awareness about this specific kind of breast cancer and has encouraged other women to speak up, ask questions, and seek second opinions when something feels off. Rita became a strong advocate for proactive medical care, encouraging women to not only get regular screenings, but to stay informed and involved in their own health decisions. After her diagnosis, Rita made the difficult decision to undergo a bilateral mastectomy, which is the surgical removal of both breasts. She also had reconstructive surgery as part of her recovery process. This was a physically and emotionally intense experience. In interviews, she spoke openly about how hard it was, not just on her body, but also on her spirit. She described moments of fear, sadness, and uncertainty. But Rita also made the brave choice to go public with her diagnosis. In April 2015, she released a statement to People magazine where she explained her diagnosis, treatment, and how grateful she felt to have caught it in time. She said she was blessed to have a loving, supportive husband, and shared that Tom had been by her side every step of the way. By speaking out, Rita helped break the silence that often surrounds breast cancer. She brought attention to the reality many women face and made it easier for others to talk about their own diagnoses. Her honesty helped reduce stigma and encouraged more open conversations about women's health. The entertainment community responded with support. Fans, celebrities, and friends reached out to express their love and encouragement. Many praised her for being so open about such a personal topic. This public support helped shine a brighter light on lobular carcinoma, a form of cancer that isn't as well known as others. One of the most touching parts of Rita's cancer journey was the role Tom Hanks played as her partner and caregiver. Throughout her treatment and recovery, Tom stood by her side, both emotionally and physically. He adjusted his work schedule so he could be there for her during surgeries and doctor visits. He made sure she felt comforted and never alone. Rita has spoken about the emotional conversations they had during this time. In one interview, she shared that she told Tom, half-jokingly, "If something happens and I should go before you, I just want you to be super sad for a real long time." While the comment was made with humor, it reflected the heavy emotional weight the couple carried. They were not just thinking about treatment, they were also facing the possibility of loss. Still, their bond remained strong. Even during the darkest times, they found joy in small things, watching movies together, eating favorite meals, and simply spending time as a couple. Rita has said that Tom's support was a key part of her healing process. He gave her strength when she needed it most. Her recovery journey was not just about surviving cancer. It was about love, resilience, and choosing hope every day. If you enjoyed this video, Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss more real stories about your favorite stars. See you in the next video.